everybody, it's Martha. Welcome back to my Shabby Craft Studio. I appreciate you being here very much. Today we are doing, I can't remember if it's part 3 or part 4, I forgot to look, of the Autumn Journal. And I want to show you what I did. I realized after filling all of the pages with my pockets and tucks and so forth, and then off camera making all the tags and filling all those pockets and tucks with all of the stuff that you fill it with, my 3 signatures were way too thick. So basically what I had was this. And it was just way too much. I hope that shows how much that really is on camera. That's like, I don't know, 6 inches. Let me see. So, well, you know, if it was closed, it was almost 5 inches thick. And that was just way too much for one journal. And so I thought, well, I'm going to split it in 2. And I did split the signatures up. I added a couple of extra pages because I didn't have all the papers in there I wanted either for pages. So I added the extra pages in where I needed them. And I ended up with 2 sets of very nice looking 3 signatures each. And there's still a lot of fun places to either embellish it more or you know, just tons and tons of journaling space. So I wanted to share with you what I did, and this is the cover I ended up making. So I had this fabric already on hand, and I just thought it was very autumnal looking. So I wanted to go ahead and use that. And then I'd been watching Artie Mays. She inspires me so much, Andrea. I don't think she watches, but I like to say hi just in case. And so she did a Junk in the Trunk number 15. Now, I did not follow exactly because I did not put book pages behind this, but I did do a lot of decoupage on cardboard, and I just want to show you up close what that looks like. And I just had a lot of fun. Like, I used the napkins here and here. I did some stamping. This is something that I had stamped out on tea-stained paper before. There are a couple of layers of cheesecloth here, tea-dyed. This is something I had stamped and colored in myself a while back. This is a mushroom. Can't even remember whose kit it's from. And then I was walking around in my basement and I walked right by some yarn. I've been downsizing, and I have been going through other craft supplies that I have. And I have all this fun yarn that I was weaving with. And this one was just perfect. It has gold and brown and rust in it. And then I have this really cool variegated thread. So when I was done decoupaging this, and I put a clear gel coat over it, and when I was done with all that, I used this really fun variegated thread to sew a zigzag on with. So I think it shows up in the camera. So I had fun with that. Now, it's not sewn onto the cover, it's glued on, but boy, that is, I clamped it after I glued it on, and it's really tight. So there is no sewing that shows through here. And then I took some muslin, and I just used my archival ink stamps, and I painted it the colors that match the journal. So I wanted to show you what it looks like, and the 3 signatures. And here are a bunch of tags. I can't remember if I showed you all of these or not previously. So I'm just going to go through this really quick because, like I said, I can't remember. I know I haven't shown you the completed journal yet, but I just wanted to flip through real quick and show you what I've done. And then at some point I will do a full flip through, and I did sew in the ruffles too that I had. So those are the ruffles I had previously made. My tongue does not want to work today. I haven't done a video in a while. There are 6 tags in that pocket. So that's a lot of tags in one pocket. I haven't done a video in, I think it's been a week or about that, because there was a lot of stuff going on last week for me. I spent most of the week working like 6 to 8 hours a day in the studio, and I still have nothing in the shop to show for it. And then this is one of the pages I added. I added tea-stained tracing paper, which it can still be written on. You can glue things onto it, whatever, but fun crinkle there. And so back to my story. I wanted to, I needed to get back out of the basement again. I'm not in the sunroom, but I'm in a room that's even better because I can close the door off. It's in the front of the house. It's a bedroom. So it took an entire day to move everything out of the bedroom and move everything back up from the basement. But the best part is there were 2 dressers in here that we emptied out. And I am able to store a lot of stuff. The dressers are from IKEA, and they have very deep drawers, both height and depth. So I did finally make a corner pocket too. Remember I kept saying I wanted a corner pocket? Yeah, so I ended up making one. I just had to have a corner pocket. So I have a lot of storage space, and I wanted to get everything settled. It took me a couple of days to get everything settled and get the flow of the room right. Like, we put stuff in here and then we rearranged it, and I think we rearranged it at least one more time from that. So the dogs are adjusting to being in here with me, and I'm adjusting to being in here. This is my first real day in here. We did this on Sunday. Today is Tuesday. So I am finally in here and actually, working and going to make this video, because I kept telling my husband I really need to make this video and get it done. So that is the one journal. So one of these is going to be a giveaway journal for reaching 500. And if I reach 600 before that, before I get this done and get that out there, then it'll either be this journal or this next one that I have done the outside cover for. I have not ironed the fabric on the inside yet. That's still in the basement. But I have to, I wanted today to work on this cover. I'm going to do a cover very similar to this, but a little different. And I'm going to show you how I did that. You can go to Artie Mays. Andrea has tons of videos on her junk in the trunk things and on her, what's the word I'm looking for? Like collage and sort of almost 3D effect stuff that she's been doing. And she's inspiring me beyond words. So I can't even begin to tell you what she has done for me as far as giving me the confidence to think that I can even try this, because I am so not an artist as far as drawing, painting, or anything like that. But this kind of stuff is really appealing to me, and I'm really, really enjoying doing it. So this is not a tutorial. This is just sort of a craft with me. And I wanted to, just show you what I wanted to do and how I did mine. And this one, I'm sure, is going to be completely different or very different from this one, or it may be just alike. Who knows? I don't know, because this is all new to me too. So I do have gesso, This is Liquitex, there goes my tongue again, Liquitex Basics Acrylic Gesso. And this is the white. It's not clear, it's white. And this is what I'm going to use to cover the cardboard. And what I've done is, this is just a really thin, this is not even a heavy piece of corrugated cardboard. This is very thin. I actually picked up some boxes, empty boxes in Hobby Lobby, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I thought I was going to try and make some small journals out of them. And when I was looking for cardboard, I didn't want anything really thick and heavy, and this cardboard was perfect. I did have to ask the sales associate if it was okay if I took the boxes, and she had to check and make sure that none of the boxes said Hobby Lobby on them before they would let me take them. So I found that interesting. I can see that, you know, they wouldn't want their Hobby Lobby boxes to go out the door, because I guess essentially somebody could put stuff in it and sell it like it's from Hobby Lobby, I guess. I'm assuming that's all it was. But anywho's, so this is going to be just sort of a craft with me, and I tore some of this off of the front of the cardboard, and the back is just going to get glued down. That's where a label was, and so it doesn't matter, it's there. So I actually tore a lot more off of this one, and I realized that I probably shouldn't have torn that much off, because a lot of this, I mean, I like the texture and everything. So like this part is on a smooth part of the cardboard, and then that part is on part where I tore the paper off the top. I decided to do this one tearing a little less paper off of the top. Let's just put it that way. And I don't even know if all of my stuff is up here. I need to go back to the basement and make sure everything's up here, but I think everything is up here. So if I go, uh-oh, it's because I'm missing something. So I can get some paper towel. And my chair is already very squeaky. So I apologize for that in advance. But I can't roll very well. So I go to roll my chair in, and I almost slide off of it, but my chair doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to have to pull my chair in and try not to bump into you. So, and let's see. Okay. All right. Hopefully I didn't shake the camera. All righty. So I usually give it a little shake. And I had a paper plate that I was using, but I'm sure that got thrown away in the process of moving. And I had to rescue it from my husband like 3 times before I ever moved. He's like, "You done with this plate?" "No, leave it alone." Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean, Mr. Find It. That's what we call Tony. Because if you lose something, he's probably seen it somewhere. And if he hasn't, he's going to find it anyway. That's kind of his thing. So I am just putting this on ever so lightly. And it doesn't really all have to be super thick or covered. And this cardboard does absorb this a bit. And I should have done one of these ahead of time. So it wasn't wet and you wouldn't have to listen to me use a heat gun. But I think what we'll do is we'll let it air dry. Hopefully it will. It's kind of cool out today. You know, a week ago, we had, I think it was last Tuesday and Wednesday, we had temperatures in the 90s. And then we had a big cool down, which was nice. And then it got hot again. 2 days ago, it was in the mid-80s. And today it's dreary and cloudy and in the 60s. So my lighting right now is all experimental. And I hope that there's not too much glare, but that there's enough light that it helps, that you can see clearly. So, all right, so that's done. I want to put this somewhere It's wet though. I don't want it to get... So I'm going to set this aside for a little bit, and hopefully it'll dry before I have to use a heat gun on it. But the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my napkins and look for the other stuff that I want to put on it. So I can do that. I'm just trying. Now that's a really, I mean, this is such a thin coat. And it does bubble up the paper a little bit because this, like I said, it's very, very thin cardboard. So it's already actually warping it a little bit. But that's okay. It won't, you know, that won't matter. Because when you glue it down, like I said, I used some clamps on it. And I was thinking that I could, since I have not put the fabric on the inside of this cover yet, that I could actually sew this right down to the cover, and then I can iron my fabric over the inside, and you wouldn't see the stitching anyway. So that is a way to do it. Now my covers, this cover is a single file folder, but I did reinforce the spine with an extra piece of file folder. So this is a little bit of a, it's not, well, the front is hard to tell because you have the cardboard on it, but the back cover is very flexible. So you can see it's not really a hard cover and it's not a soft cover. It's somewhere in between because it's just a single file folder. This cover that I'm working on now is, I decided to make it 2 file folders thick, and that is a little less soft, if you can see. It's not bending quite as easily. So that does make a difference. I did glue the 2 pieces together. I use Heat and Bond, or there's another one that I iron onto the fabric, and then I actually put a light coating of Fabri-Tac on the iron on part after I peel the paper off, and then I iron it as well. So it's got Fabri-Tac and it's ironed on. So, you know, hopefully that cover is good for a long time. And then the piece of fabric I'll put over the inside will just go to the edges, and I'll do the same thing. It's already got the Heat and Bond on the back of it, but that piece of fabric is in the basement. I can tell you that for a fact right now. So, but once I get the cover all done, then I can just put that, the inside on, and it'll be ready to sew the signatures in. Which you've seen me do before, because I did that on the ephemera folio when I showed you how I used my foam pillow. So now that I'm done humming and hawing, oh my, yeah, I have to get used to working in my space. I have one of these racks that fits on my rolling cart that I got from Michael's, and it holds my paper towel, but it pops off really easily. So there's that. So I have this little piece of burlap that I think I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use anything out of this, but I also have, oh my gosh, squeezy, squeezy. I also have my tray with my leftover bits. This is the yarn that I used. It's so much fun. It's a really cool eyelash yarn. I think I got this, I don't know, last year probably at Tuesday Morning, I think. I got a couple of them because that kind of yarn is really hard to find right now. And I have some of the napkin that, well, this is one I had to peel off fresh, but I wanted to use these leaves on the front of this one. That's something else. And then, of course, there's bits of paper that I have left over. This is the rest of that cardboard box. Lots of napkins, paper. So I'm going to poke through this and see what I think I want. But I do definitely want at least 1 or 2 of these leaves. Now, what I am missing in my new setup here is an extra table to set things on when I need them. So I'm going to set that over there and hopefully not bump into the camera. So let's see. All right. I have this is a water brush, and I pointed this out in the last video. And I have two of these. One is from my gelato set that I got from Faber-Castell, and I don't like that water brush as much as this one. This one doesn't seem to like overflow as much, and I just tested. I tested on my hand, or you can wipe it on a napkin. You want a little bit of water, but not too much. And then, yeah, see, that's not enough. But don't squeeze it over your napkin, because then you get a big glob of water. So I just go sort of on the outside edge of the part of the napkin I want to take out. And speaking of napkins, we even my husband has started helping looking for napkins. And the bad part is I have more than enough for fall. But there's so many pretty ones out there that are not necessarily like Thanksgiving or Halloween related. I'm not a big Halloween person at all. I don't think even as a kid I was that fond of Halloween. Definitely not as an adult. I mean, I did let my kids partake. I didn't, say no, you can't. And it's not at all religious related or anything. I've just never really been a fan of Halloween. I don't like spooky things. I don't like, the whole skeleton and spiders and all that thing. So, I'm not a big fan, really. I like this long. So I'm not getting enough water. All right. And these leaves are so close together that you have to lose part of one in order to get the other on most of them. According to the napkin, this is called a willow oak leaf, which I think is kind of cool that the napkin tells me what kind of leaves I'm using. So, but I did find that this is like, you can tear these out without water very easily, but the water does give it that sort of deckled, torn edge, and I tend not to be as it just seems easier. let me put it that way. So let's see. I think maybe I'll take, I actually saw an oak leaf outside that was very similar to this one the other day. And I would have picked it up and brought it in and used it, except it had bird poop on it. so I put it back. Put it back on the ground. Said, well, no, don't think so. Not going to do that. Yeah. No bird poop, please. Not in my journals. So, but it was very much like this. Still had a lot of green in it because we're surrounded with oaks, unfortunately. And this time of year, when the leaves start turning brown, because oak leaves, that's all they do around here. Most of them just turn brown. Some of them turn a little bit of gold, but they just turn brown and eventually fall off. Not all before winter either. A lot of them don't fall off till next spring. But they, that's how they are, and they create a lot of leaf mold. So that's not very much fun. Now the other product I've been using is this. It's Liquitex Professional Matte Gel, and it's clear. And so there's that. I can't remember how much it cost. I think I got it it was either, I don't think it was Hobby Lobby. I think I got it in Michael's or A.C. Moore. One of those two. And that's what I've been using over the top. And it's also sort of like a glue. So it could be used as a glue too. All right, so that's dry because it's such a thin coat. And the other thing that I did do was looking for my ink pad. Oh, come on. my drawer, my set of drawers is on the opposite side it was on before, so now I'm doing all of that left-handed as well. Joy! I'm right-handed, by the way, in case you hadn't noticed. Not like all the other people I keep seeing that are left-handed. So yes, we turned a brown piece of cardboard white, and now I'm adding brown back. Yeah, I know. Talk about repetitive, right? But it's a different brown, and it's more of a aged, I want it to look aged around the edges and a little bit behind. I have re-inked, used a ink refill on this pad, and it really just does not ever seem inky enough to me, but yeah, that's the way it goes. I did pick up a new one. I'm going to try that and see if it inks up better. It seems to hold the ink better. But I think I bought it in the same place I bought this one, which was Joann's. And maybe they've just been sitting on the shelf too long. I don't know. I don't know. But, okay. So I did that. I have to refer back to my other one. Stamping. So Andrea also does a stamping on the base. So let's see. I have to decide. I have a couple of, not in that batch. Okay, I'll just use this one. So I have this stamp that I bought at Hobby Lobby. It is Stampendous, Stampabilities, and it is from Hobby Lobby, and it was $10.99, but I got it when they had 40 or 50% off their stamps. And I just use archival ink because, you know, I'm going to be putting other stuff on here, and I don't want the ink to run. So I just sort of lightly ink it, and then I just do a tad bit. Oh, that didn't work at all. And it sort of comes down out in a very faint, there. So there's my inking. Can you see? My script inking. So there's that. I'll put that back. And I do try to wipe down. I gotta get another package of wet wipes before I run out in the middle of a video. Oh no! And then after I use this, I stick it back in my pack. And it keeps it wet. So there's that. Alrighty, set that aside. And then I'm just gonna like sort of decoupage this stuff on, and I'm gonna use the Liquitex matte gel, and it does dry clear. I can't tell. It says heavy body translucent gel, which means it dries clear, and it does. And it also says on it that it can be used for like decoupage to like glue things on. So I did not even check where I want my where I want my leaves to go. I did not. I'm going to just put some of this on there. And if it dries and I don't use it, I can put more on. It won't hurt it. It sort of seals that ink in that way. Okay. So I think I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to put that there. I'm going to tear some of that off. Unless it's too late. I'm mumbling. I'm sorry. It's hard for me to do this and talk. I'm just not used to like making things and having the camera on. because literally, I think one day last week, after I did the video where I chose all of the pockets to put the stuff in, I literally took like 6 hours that day to decide on tags, make tags. I used a lot of things I had already made, which was my goal, but but I also wanted things to match with the same similar items that I had used in the rest of the journal. Oy! I'm sorry, I'm reaching for this tray again. And decisions for me just take me a really long time. I just could not decide. Let's see, I wonder if I want that there. And I even had a really hard time making the cover. Do I want that up in the corner? I don't know. I don't want to set it down because then it'll stick. Because, you know, like a dope, I put stuff all over the place. I think I'm going to use that. I sort of kind of want to use a sunflower, even though I used a sunflower in the other one. I could use the bird, though. I could use the bird. I think the bird. Maybe. All right, this one I'm just going to tear out, not use water. Try and do it so you can see me. Okay. So tear around here. Yikes. Oop. There was part of the bird's tail, but that's okay. It's a long tail. Yep, I think I'm gonna put that down. Okay. So yeah, I'm sort of missing a place to set things. I might have to put one of my other trays over here and just use that as one of my rolling carts and use that as like a substitute for the table I used to set things on when I was done using it, but I still needed it to be within reach because I do miss that. All right. Let's see. This actually should go, I guess, like this. I'm going to put the beak up there. Yep, I like that. I do. So I want to welcome my new subscribers. I've had a few new ones. Literally I guess I've said that a lot, but I guess that's my way of expressing just how serious everything has been. The couple of weeks after Gail both showed my ephemera folios on her channel and then tagged me in the 10 crafty questions, I got a lot of new subscribers here, which I'm so grateful for. And I had a ton of orders for ephemera folios. So I was so busy doing those that I had very little time to do much of anything else. And I loved working on this journal, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you something. This is another set of napkins we got. I found this one at Tuesday Morning, and I loved it because it has some smaller leaves than this has. So I'm going to try and break into this set of napkins. But yeah, I sort of got overwhelmed, and gratefully, very, very gratefully, I had about a week or two where I was finishing the hydrangea journal, and one of my followers, hi Elba, she had asked me about the journal ahead of time, and I told her if she was interested in it, when I was done, if she liked it, she was welcome to, claim it. So she did, and she did. So that was fun. I have this piece stuck to my thumb, and it's irritating me, and I can't get this off. And I know I'm supposed to use tape, but my tape is across the room. Not that the room is all that big. But I'm trying to get it off how I usually do it. But of course it doesn't want to do it because I'm on camera. But I enjoyed making that. All right, I give up. Give me 1 minute. Not even a minute. It's just right here. I have my tape sitting on my desk where my computer is residing at the moment. Okay, let's see. Can we get it off now? Maybe? Please? Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I've had problems with pulling napkins off, the back of napkins off, and I actually end up tearing the napkin, which is very frustrating to me. This one's really stuck on. And so there's one more layer. There we go. And no, I did not invent this technique, I know. But I'm grateful to the person who figured it out and shared it with the rest of us, because I'd be here still trying to get the back of that napkin off. There. Yay! So one of the other things that happened recently was that we actually put an offer on a house, but then we backed out of it. Some things came up where we just felt like it was going to be too risky to get a house for that price. And we backed up and regrouped, and we are going to wait and make some other decisions about our future. It's very hard to think about retiring. It's very it's stressful. It really is stressful because, there's a lot to consider. My husband does not have a legit 401k plan. He's retired from the military, but he was an enlisted soldier, so retirement is not all that much. And it's tough because right now he makes good money. He's got a good job, a great boss. And yet, when we retire, he wants to have a certain amount of money in the bank. And we don't want to be house poor. But I don't love where we live. I like my house fine. Now that I'm not in the basement anymore. That only lasted like 2 weeks. I just couldn't take it. I don't want to put that there because I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm going to use another. I think I'll do that. Okay, it's hot in this room. I was cold when I came in here, but with the door shut, it's really warm. I am like hot flash plus. Yikes. I really like this gel medium. And one of the reasons I like it is it does not smell like Mod Podge and it does not dry sticky. That's 2 reasons. I can't count. But honestly, those are the two reasons I love it the most. It does not smell, and it's not sticky when it dries. And I live in a humid climate. Trust me. For 2 days now, it has looked like it's going to rain out there, and this will not dry tacky like Mod Podge does. I do believe it's a lot more expensive, but for me, it's totally worth it. All right. So now I have to decide. I think I want to put this up here. This was sent in by Robin. Thank you so much, Robin. I love it. I got a set of 3. I just have to find the other 2. There's an orangey one. And there's one more. Of course, there it is. It's more of a little bit of a greenish tint to it. So I want to see which one I like the most. And that's going to be my sort of 3D edition. I think I like this one. Let's see this one. That one blends in too much. That one's not going to work. I really like this one. I like it up in this corner. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little puffy thing off the back. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac and put this down. Now, I do want to remember that I don't want it too close to the corner because I want to sew around this when it's dry. When it's dry. So, I wonder if I should sew first. I'll bet you I should sew it first. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. I am going to sew it first, and then I will stick that leaf on with Fabri-Tac because, you know, it's just not going to, my machine won't go around it. I do have to tell you, I told you guys about the fire at the quilt store where the fabric, I bought some fabric that I saw on their Facebook page that they had gotten in. And I went in that day. My husband said, let's go in today. I said, no, I can go over the weekend. And he said, no, we're here. Let me drive in. You run in. I'll stay in the car. So I went in. I was a very good girl. I got that fabric and one other little piece of fabric. And that afternoon they had a fire. Well, they didn't have a fire. The pizza place next door had a fire and they had all this smoke damage. So they've been closed. So if I hadn't gone in, I wouldn't have got that fabric. Well, and now I forgot why I started the story. Oh, my machine was supposed to get serviced. So my machine was acting up. It wasn't sewing correctly. And I thought, oh man, I know I need to change my needle. I know I need to do this and that and the other thing. But what I really needed to do was take the plate off. There's a metal plate that sits under your feeder foot, your you know, that holds the bobbin in. And so I knew I needed to take that off, and I'm just looking at this Tim Holtz paper tissue paper that I have, and I'm wondering, do I have any room to put anything on there? I think I do. So I took it off, and this wad of dust, the area of this brush came out from underneath, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's probably why it wasn't sewing very well. Excuse me. That caught me off guard. Sorry. So, yep, my machine really needed some servicing, but it was a homemade service. Because, yeah, the sewing machine place isn't going to be open for a while. Okay, I think I need to stick this on somewhere. Maybe not. But I'm gonna. Just a little bit. I just want a little bit on there. I don't know why. It was speaking to me. So, yeah, clean your machine. It needs it if you're sewing paper and, you know, stuff like that. And cotton. Cotton is really hard on sewing machines. So, there. Just needed a touch. I just needed a little touch of something different on there. Go put that there too. These teeny bits. Oh, all right. My brush is saying there's no more left on me. So I am going to sew this off camera because you guys don't need to see me sew. What I'm going to do is I'm still going to use some of this yarn around the edge. I'm going to run it up one edge and probably like either across the bottom or across the top or something. Maybe like that. And I'll zigzag across it. I make the zigzag so that it holds the yarn on. And I'll zigzag all around it. And I may actually sew it to the cover like I said before. And I will do that off camera. And I will finish the cover. And I will come back and show everybody what it looks like when it's all done. And one of these will be for the giveaway. And the other one is going to go up in my shop for sale. So I will do that all, and we will do the giveaway probably in the next video. And I'm already almost at an hour. I told you it takes me forever to make decisions and craft. I mean, I feel like I didn't get anything done hardly at all. And that's bad. I mean, I know I did, but I don't feel like this is all that much. You know what I mean? Now, I do want to share with you. We have a store here called Wegmans. Look at these napkins. They have bees on them and sunflowers. So I am very excited about these napkins. They were expensive because they were from Wegmans, which is a grocery store here on the East Coast. It originated in Rochester, New York, which is where I grew up. And they've expanded and they have some really pretty things in their stores now. So my husband saw these and he said, "Do you want these napkins?" And I was like, sure. so yeah, I've got him on that bandwagon too. So I'm going to sew, I'm going to put yarn on, going to put the leaf on somewhere up here in the corner. And I may, once I've sewn, I may even just hang this leaf off the edge like that because, you know, 3D and all. And I think it's really pretty. I think it's going to come out really nice. I may ink a little more. I don't know. I don't know. I think it has enough. But this has to dry and I can't sew or do anything else until that's done. So I will be back with the finished journal cover and we will do a giveaway. So oh shoot, I wanted to put some burlap on there too. Well, you know, it's never too late, right? It's never too late. It really isn't. Ever too late. I'm digging it. Would I dig it more if it was under there? Yes, I would dig it more, except I think I want a bigger piece now. And that won't go to waste because I will use it for something else. I may just put that there and put that there. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes, oh yes. Well, that's going to get done. I will glue this on. I can sew over the top of it, and then I can put this on after. I just have to remember not to put that leaf on before I sew. I get impatient and forget. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to quit rambling now and quit babbling. And thank you for being here. Please leave comments. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. And I'll be back soon. And I promise I will be doing that giveaway video very, very, very soon. I promise. Today is Tuesday. It will be before the end of the week. So thanks, everybody. I love you guys. You're the best. I love all the comments I've been getting. I really, really appreciate you being here. You have no idea. I never thought I'd have 100 subscribers, let alone 500, and I'm moving in on 600, and that's just so exciting for me. So you guys, take care, and thank you again. Have a crafty, happy, lovely day no matter where you are, and I will be back very soon, I promise. Bye!